Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. As you guys are probably aware, I have not made a video about the US confirmation hearings that are currently still going on, but I thought because of today's US confirmation hearing with RFK Jr., I needed to make a video about this particular one because it is so important. And I believe that if RFK Jr. does not get confirmed, we could be in a pretty interesting time period, let's just say that. And that's why we really need to confirm. Even though I'm Australian, I know I can't confirm, I can't cast my vote, but I hope that the US Senate does their due diligence, which is why he endured over 3.5 hours of relentless, grueling grilling from Democrats and Republicans alike, mostly from Democrats who hate his guts. And to me, this is about the health of America. Not just the health of America, but the world is watching what America is doing. And so if you have someone like RFK Jr. in a position of leadership and power to make the American people healthy once again, I believe the rest of the world is going to follow suit to some degree. Don't you think? Especially when it comes down to stem cell treatments, peptides, and everything else along those lines. When it comes to vaccines, however, that's another interesting conversation because, well, the COVID vaccine, as we know, was rushed. There's a lot of information that is coming out about how it's ineffective and it didn't really work. And so the goalpost changed enormously for so long. And RFK Jr. has been going after these big pharmaceutical companies for their lies, their corruption, their deceit for such a long time. He's a lawyer. The environmental impact that these pharmaceutical companies are causing is tremendous, right? And not just that, not just the pharmaceutical companies, but all these other big organizations that are taking it out on the environment and they're getting away with it, as it would seem. The Democrats hate RFK Jr. for many, many reasons. They think he's going to take away all the vaccines, which is, again, a total and downright lie. He's not against all vaccines. He just wants, in his own words, there to be good science. If you have good science to a particular medicine or vaccine, whatever it is, then obviously people are more than likely going to trust it, right? But the Democrats, like Elizabeth Warren, for example, go off at RFK Jr. for no reason whatsoever. Have a watch.
I'll comply with all the ethical guidelines.
That's not the question. You have said
You're asking me, Senator, you're asking me not to sue pharmaceutical companies. Yeah, you are. That's exactly what you're doing.
Look, no one should be fooled here. As Secretary of HHS, Robert Kennedy will have the power to undercut vaccines and vaccine manufacturing across our country. And for all of his talk about follow the science and his promise that he won't interfere with those of us who want to vaccinate his kids, the bottom line is the same. Kennedy can kill off access to vaccines and make millions of dollars while he does it. Kids might die, but Robert Kennedy can keep cashing in.
Senator, I support vaccines. I support the childhood schedule. I will do that. The only thing I want is good science, and that's it.
How about then say you won't make money off what you do as Secretary of HHS?
Clear that Mr. Kennedy has gone through the same Office of Government Ethics process as every single other nominee in the Finance Committee this year and in previous administrations. In addition to listing his assets, including the items that you've identified, he has signed an ethics letter that has been reviewed by the Office of Government Ethics concerning any possible conflict in light of its functions and the nominee's proposed duties. And we have a letter from the Office of Government Ethics that he hasn't complied completely with all applicable laws and regulations governing conflicts of interest.
Mr. Chairman, point of information here. Have we had a single nominee come through who's made $2.5 million off suing one of the entities that it would be regulating and plans to keep getting a take of every lawsuit in the future? Have we had that before?
I haven't reviewed the past documentation of every other nominee's financial interests, and so no. But I know that every single time we get a nominee, their financial interests are attacked. That's why we have the Office of Government Ethics. That's why they've reviewed everything that's in his record, and that's why he has even, I think, and I don't know that I want to ask him to get into it, but he has listed his assets and has gone through a discussion of the responsibilities under our ethics laws and is complied with all of those requirements.
Elizabeth Warren is, how in the world is she still a senator? Honestly, she just reminds me of some angry old Karen. Seriously, like, I don't like you because, well, I have chosen not to like you and I'm believing in lies. And to me, that is just absolutely pathetic. Like, Elizabeth Warren going after RFK Jr. because she thinks that he's going to cash in. The vast majority of these Democrats that are grueling RFK Jr., they've been cashing in by Big Pharma for such a long time. Otherwise, why in the world would they be saying the things that they're saying? Oh, RFK Jr., he's going to take cash by going after and suing all of these companies. Like, Big Pharma is afraid at the moment. Not just Big Pharma, Big Food as well. He's going to make America healthy. And the problem is, America at the moment is not healthy. You have countless diseases. You have allergies up the wazoo. Seriously, young kids are not healthy anymore. Why is that? The ingredients in food, like, you just have to look at just not even fast food, but just the average product on the shelf. You look at the ingredients and my goodness, it would shock you. It would seriously shock you. RFK Jr. wants to take all of that, throw a bunch of it in the garbage and say, we need to do better here. We need to make things healthy once again. Is that such a problem? But you have people like Elizabeth Warren and many of the other Democratic senators I was watching that you can tell they're being paid off. Democrats don't want a healthy America because it doesn't line their pockets, does it? They want an unhealthy America so they can keep profiting from the unhealthy nature of it. They want to be able to have access to vaccines and everything else that they want at their beck and call, even though there is not much science involved with it. And they want to be able to lecture every single other person that doesn't get a vaccine, let's say. They want to be able to lecture them and say, you are a bad person. I don't know if you've noticed, Warren, Elizabeth Karen Warren, but the US health system at the moment is total and utter shit. It is horrible. You look at other countries, for example, even the one just not too far away, Canada, for example, even though the Canadian healthcare system is not that great, it may be a little bit better than the US healthcare system. My fellow Canadian friends, am I right about that or am I wrong? Australia's healthcare system is really suffering at the moment. It's kind of terrible, but you can have a much better healthcare system if you have the right leaders in a position to make it better. This is not about left or right. This is about what is right, in the fact that what's right is making people healthy again. There used to be healthy people not that long ago. You know what happened? Big pharma, big fast food companies, industry came in and took over everything. And we had countless health problems stem from that. And so if I want anyone in a position of like health or trying to make America, not just America, but the world healthy again, I would definitely trust RFK Jr. because the man lives out a healthy lifestyle. More so than Elizabeth Warren, who looks like she's on a bloody deathbed. Like, RFK Jr., he may be, I think he's in his 70s or something. He's old, but he doesn't act old. And that's from the food he eats, his active lifestyle. He looks after himself. The man is an absolute machine. How do you explain the rate of young kids that are being born with diseases as well? That's increasing too. There are ways you can fix this, but Elizabeth Warren and many of the other Democrats are so focused on lining their pockets because they're so corrupt. It's not even funny. It's actually quite concerning. They're so corrupt that they don't want to help the kids. They don't want to help anyone in America but themselves. And they won't confirm anyone that they cannot seemingly control. You can't control RFK Jr. Trump just gave him a blanket statement and said, make America healthy again, however way you see fit. Have a watch of this to end. It's a plea from RFK Jr. And it kind of made me a little bit emotional because he's right. Why can't people be healthy again? It's not about liberal kids or Republican kids. It's just about kids being healthy. Stop making it political. Make it about what's right. Have a watch.
I want to say something about what you first said. When I launched my campaign, it was about uniting Americans, Democrats and Republicans. There's no issue that should unite us more than this chronic health epidemic. There's no such thing as Republican children or Democratic children. These are our kids. 66% of them are damaged. I know what a healthy kid looks like because I had so many of them in my family. I didn't know anybody with a food allergy growing up, peanut allergy. Why do 5 of my kids have allergies? Why are we seeing these explosions in diabetes, rheumatoid arthritis, neurological diseases, depression, all of these things that are related to toxics in the environment? Why can't we just agree with each other to put differences about so many issues, intractable issues aside, and say, we're going to end this? I don't think anybody is going to be able to do this like I have because of my peculiar experience, because I've litigated against these agencies. When you litigate against them, you get a PhD in corporate capture and how to unravel it. I've written 6 books about these agencies. I know a lot about them and I know how to fix it. And there's nobody who will fix it the way that I do because I'm not scared of vested interests. I don't care. I'm not here because I want a position or a job. I have a very good life and a happy family. This is something I don't need. I want to do this because we're going to fix it. And the other thing is we are attracting now a caliber of people to HHS like never before in history. And they're entrepreneurs, they're disruptors, they're innovators of immense talent that are walking away, many of them from growing concerns. They're not coming there for position. They're coming there because they want to save our country. And they're from across the political spectrum. And all these Democrats are opposed to me for partisan issues. They used to be my friends. Agreed with me on all the environmental issues that I've been working on for my whole career. Now they're against me because anything that President Trump does, any decision he makes, has to be lampooned, derided, discredited, marginalized, vilified.
We need to move on. Senator Warren.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So, Mr. Kennedy, I want to start with something that I think you and I agree on, and that is that Big Pharma has too much power in Washington.
Maha, make America healthy again. And as an Australian watching on, I hope to God that RFK Jr. is confirmed. It'd be much better for all Americans. You guys take care, you be blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.